Optimize your nutrition this year with Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal service. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved, ready to eat in just 2 minutes. Choose from 40 weekly options across 8 dietary preferences, like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Eat smarter at factormeals.com/listen50 and use code LISTEN50 for 50% off, plus free shipping on your first box. Factormeals.com/listen50, code LISTEN50.
If your dog could talk, they'd beg for Ollie. The full-body tail wag, the excited little hops, the big goofy grin. That's the Ollie effect. Ollie delivers clean, fresh nutrition in 5 drool-worthy flavors, even for the pickiest eaters. Made in U.S. kitchens with highest quality human-grade ingredients, Ollie's food contains no fillers, no preservatives, just real food. And here's the thing. Healthier food means a happier pup. More energy, shinier coats, better poops, and more excitement at mealtime. With 5 protein-packed recipes like fresh beef with sweet potatoes or fresh turkey with blueberries, even the pickiest eaters can't resist. You might think, dang, my dog eats better than I do. And that's probably true when it comes to Ollie. Dogs deserve the best, and that means fresh, healthy food. Head to ollie.com/Wondery. Tell them all about your dog and use code WONDERY to get 60% off your welcome kit when you subscribe today. Plus, they offer a happiness guarantee on the first box. So if you're not completely satisfied, you'll get your money back. That's OLLIE.com/Wondery and enter code WONDERY to get 60% off your first box.
This is Fixing Famous People, the podcast where 2 reality television producers pitch solutions to save celebrities in dire straits.
But first, let's get to the Prefix, your weekly pop culture roundup.
Oh, Christopher, I have a question. I opened the broadcast with a question, an important question. These are important times. These are divisive times. And I only need your answer and the listener's answer to this following question.
Yes.
Have you seen Kris Jenner's face?
I sure have. And
Ooh-wee.
I have to say, money well spent.
Oh, there's no other opinion. You can feel about her emotionally, however you like. This
physically,
bitch found a time machine.
I mean, that's $1 million facelift right there is what it is.
If there
it looks like it.
Oh, if there was a Nobel Prize for work,
plastic surgery,
this is it. This is the goal. Anytime you are getting anything done to your face, Kris Jenner at age 69 in the year of our Lord 2025, that's your goal.
Yeah,
like, that's
100%.
I'm not a fan of hers. Like
not remotely, but
in any way.
Even though everyone says that I am her, which I'm like, you're not wrong. But she looks incredible.
Yeah. It should actually be the Nobel Prize for work bitch. That's
and like, how did she, because we just saw her at the space launch and she didn't look like that then. So like, how did she do this?
Well, obviously her bestie, Lauren Sanchez, took some sort of age reversing stone from outer space and handed it to Kris Jenner for a prize.
What is this, like Zelda? Yeah, it's like... Really though, like, because if you get like a real legit facelift, like you have some downtime. Know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't know. How did she? I don't think this is an old-fashioned facelift. I think this is some new. This is the eponymous they are saying that she had done whatever Lindsay Lohan had done, but when she resurfaced and people looking at her and they're like, "Is it a time machine?" Because you don't look like you've had work done, but only because you look younger. I mean, it doesn't look like work. And
no, it's not plastic surgery face.
No.
It's like the antithesis. I don't even know what it is. Does anyone know? Like, what do we know? Or is this just like, it's so exclusive that we don't even know what it is?
Maybe.
Get what I'm saying?
I don't know.
Like,
yeah, I don't know.
That's some legit ass shit right
I
there.
want it. I mean, I want to do like Kris Jenner looks like Kim Kardashian now.
Yeah.
Like she's got like a bob with a flip happening.
Don't
like,
get me started with both of them
look.
trying to do that same haircut. I can't.
But they're doing it. They're doing it. I mean,
anyway,
it's got to be one of those machines and not the ones that are in my Instagram feed, but it's got to be like
machines,
like an advanced version of a face sculpting machine that you like rub along your face and it just like It's got to be something. No one's making an incision in there. That face has no marks.
I don't know. Does anyone know? Hello?
We need boots on the ground.
From anyone. Is there a surgeon that we can talk
Who
to?
knows?
Because this is next level. Or is it just AI filtering her face?
No, it can't be. It can't. It's at too many. She's appearing in public. She's been in France for a minute, and it's everywhere she goes.
To go to Kim's trial.
And Lauren Sanchez's bachelorette party.
Don't give me Dominick.
Let's not get started on. There's so many more important things to talk about than that individual. We'll get there. But Kris Jenner, for the love of Cher, I never thought I'd be saying this on a public airwave, but congratulations,
I know,
girl.
for real.
That is
it's undeniable. And
you've solved something. I don't know what it is, but it's once the world finds out what she's done here it's Ozempic for the face. It's that revolutionary
not even.
Where we're all gonna do
sure. It's it's another level though. It's transcended that.
She's a pod person. She's been swapped. It's
it's in the Matrix whenever they finally get flushed down that toilet.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? And they're a new baby human. That's what she is.
It's picture of Dorian Gray shit. She's done something other. It's death becomes her potion shit.
But what it actually should have been and not what happened to them in the movie.
Yeah. Unless, of course, Kris Jenner falls over and then breaks into a billion pieces. Which would be hilarious.
Meanwhile, has anyone seen Chloe? Chloe literally looks like she was all of her sustenance has been sucked out so that Kris could be younger. Do you know what I'm talking about? Chloe's in a closet and she's just a pile of dust with eyes.
They all look so good. Whenever you see clips of them from even 7 or 8 years ago, you're who are these monsters?
Yeah, sure. But now they all just look like one human being, and I don't like that. But
they're a step. They're a step.
They're just the plastic surgery face, all of them. You can't tell them any of them apart, and it's too much. But anyway, Kris looks great.
I think that Kris and Kim have had some sort of Freaky Friday bullshit, and they're just inhabiting the other person's body.
And Kim looks much alike
because she's got to deal with Kanye, and Kris Jenner's just I did my job, honey. Now I look young. She looks 40, and Kim looks 70.
Yeah. Ugh, Kim. Anyway,
all right, let's move on to the most important item of the week, which, by the way, is only still a rumor, but it's a rumor that we want to be true so much that we are presenting it as well-reported fact.
All of our favorites are up to stuff with each other right now. Mm-hmm. Have you noticed this? Everyone that we rag on every week is we'll show them, we'll give them something to talk about and is in cahoots.
There's a rumor that Don Lemon and Wendy Williams are teaming up for a daytime talk show.
I can't even keep a straight face.
We're not even smart enough to write something this delicious. Not only would I watch that every day, I'd sit outside the studio with a glass against the wall to listen to every show I couldn't get a ticket to.
Go in the audience. We would try to get in the audience every single day. I'd be one of those people that remember back in the day when TRL was on and everyone would stand outside with a sign. And they would just do that every day. That's me for this show.
It would just be 100
of us.
Every day it would be 100 annoying gay people just screaming because we're the audience. Who's the audience for Don Lemon and Wendy Williams? Annoying gay people. Here's my only reservation about it. These are two people who run shit. Neither of them known for their ensemble work.
No, they're gonna go to war. It is gonna be trench warfare on that show
which
together.
Is exactly what everyone who knew us thought would happen when you and I decided to do a podcast together. So we basically are the Don Lemon and Wendy Williams experience, the trial run. And we've done this for 3 years and it's been successful.
Oh God, because just picture what they think about them. Wendy would come on and she'd already start crying and she'd be like, I'm free. You know, and she'd have her little Q-tips out to put in her eyes to not cry. Uh-huh. And then Don Lemon would be like, girl, blah, blah, blah. What would he say? You know?
This is what I want. And it's such a great opportunity for both of them because we've seen Wendy in public over the past year. Is she the same Wendy who hosted that show? She is not.
No.
Is she, or does she, we're not doctors, is she coherent enough to co-host something? I do think so. I do, but
she's
she
coherent
needs help.
enough to put her bank accounts on her Instagram showing that the doctor was withdrawing money from her account. So
she can screen grab a legal doc with a Dropbox. That's for sure. She's doing
have it redacted where it needs to be. So that's Hello, you know?
So, and you know what? The road to Don's resurgence needs to be paved with abject, overdone homosexuality.
Yeah, 100%.
And Wendy is the co-host that's going to allow him to be on set wearing an ascot and nothing else, because Don still got it going on to the fullest. That's it. He needs to be the gayest version of himself with the biggest drag queen to ever inhabit a woman's body, which is Wendy Louise Williams. This could be something.
I hope it's not just a stupid rumor that's fake.
There's no way you remember. You can't remember this. There can't. But there used to be a sitcom called Too Close for Comfort in the 80s.
Okay.
It was about a guy who lived, and Ted Knight, he lived with his 2 adult daughters, and one of their friends was an obviously gay guy who they never referred to as being gay. And his name was Monroe, and the actor's name was Jim J. Bullock. And in the 90s, at some point, Jim J. Bullock, an incredibly gay presenting gay person, and Tammy Faye Baker teamed up for a daytime talk show called Jim J. and Tammy Faye.
Oh, brother.
And if you've never seen it, it only ran for a year. I don't know why, because it was the funniest shit you've ever seen. It was like a reverse Will and Grace it was Will and Grace, actually, a straight woman and a gay guy. And Tammy Faye was Tammy Faye. And it was the two of them just kikiing and cutting up. And I think America maybe wasn't ready for it yet, but it was, if you can find clips on YouTube, it was hilarious. This is the modern version of that. God, I hope it happens.
I mean, praying.
I still know who's in control of Wendy's stuff.
That's
right
what
now.
I'm saying.
Is it her?
Well, I think she has to get, but I think she has to get like freed.
Yeah.
And that's why she's putting up the doctor stuff, because then she's trying to reverse. I think legally what she's trying to do is that she's trying to show the world, like, look at like the corruption that happened that got me this, like, this ruling that I was like not able to like function myself.
Sure.
Basically. And so I think if she does that and the judge is like, okay, you're right, get reevaluated, and then she gets reevaluated and she's like, fine, then she can like do her own shit again. Because I don't think she can legally sign any documents herself right now if she's in a conservatorship. That's like the whole point of it.
Do you think her family just like is there a group text every day about like how to handle her?
I don't know.
That's the group text I want to see.
I think the family's in on it.
They have to be. It's gone on too long.
The whole family. Can't they just do a podcast? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, can't they just do a podcast or do something that's like not legally binding at all, where they just do it and then they show that it's so great?
I don't know. I mean, she's not contracted to anybody now, right? Can't she?
I know, but I'm saying
she
can't, because like her oppressors would be the people that would be signing the contract.
But
I'm like, just go rogue, you know what I mean? And don't have a contract and just like do something, and then everyone will love it, and then we'll come to the table.
Well, we're all over this story, listeners. And by all over it, I mean, I'm refreshing my browser as much as possible.
You're waiting.
I'm not pursuing the information I wanted to fall in my lap.
You're waiting for your email alerts to come in about it.
I want my Google alerts for either me, Kris, or Wendy Williams to come through. Those are the 3 that I have.
Do you have a Google alert on yourself?
I don't think I do any longer. I definitely used to. And then I undid it because it kept annoying me for like anything that I'd ever produced when it was like rebroadcast on any TV guide
Oh God.
And it also, whenever Teresa Caputo's name would come up, my name would be along with it. And her name goes on there a lot.
Sure.
So I got rid of it, but I should now. I mean, everybody really should, almost as like a credit check,
just to see. Yeah. I don't know. I've never done it ever. So I should probably
really. Have you Googled yourself?
I mean, yeah, I've Googled myself, but not like a Google alert. I know that's
like let's reset them.
Anyway,
I'm going to reset them.
Yeah. Will you have one on me and just send me whatever it is?
That's fine. I'm on my phone all goddamn day. So sure. Speaking of being set free, there was this song played on a recent episode of Handmaid's Tale, which was apparently the first Taylor Reputation revisited, or Taylor's version.
Like Taylor's version of Reputation.
Thank you.
I saw
Thank you, young person.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden it pops up on an episode of Handmaid's Tale in full. The song was in,
which is kind of good. Like,
in full.
I'm behind, a couple episodes behind, because I'm too distracted by the fact that Elizabeth Moss is quite literally 9 months pregnant in the enther season. And
isn't that
control.
Something? She's so big.
She's as big as a house. Not even her face, like her. What she got in there, quintuplets? Like her stomach is huge. Again, she's like ready to give birth at any moment. Of course she is. I'm not saying this.
Yeah, we're not fat shaming. We're sort of character continuity
shaming. Couldn't be more
shaming,
pregnant if she tried. And it's just like there's nothing you can hide this stomach under, and they don't even care. They just show her with like baggy clothing where her stomach is protruding, even the baggy clothing.
Is there any chance, because I'm not caught up like by several seasons with Handmaid's Tale, is there any chance her character is secretly pregnant? And in the finale, she's going to give birth.
But like, she would know that she was pregnant. That she is truly could give birth at any moment. Like at any moment during the scene that her water could break. She's so pregnant.
Well, she must have given birth since they shot it, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that she has. But like, she's humongous. Like they just show one random shot of her and she's straight up. You see a 9-month pregnant person that's just standing there. And you're like, okay.
I love when that happens on a daytime soap. I love all the tricks they use to hide people. I remember...
Dominic, they're not using one of them here. She's not like holding a bag in front of her. It's not just shots from like her breast up. Like it's not a medium shot. Like they're just showing a humongous woman with a pregnant. At one point, they're being assaulted by a security guard that is trying to R-word both of her and another character. And they have to like murder him.
Oh my word.
Rightfully so. And so she's like doing combat. And I'm like, she's literally 9 months pregnant. She's like waddles over to him and like puts a phone cord around his neck to strangle him to death.
I remember vividly when Felicia Rashad was pregnant when she was Claire Huxtable in the original run of The Cosby Show. And that was similarly like, I remember everyone talking about it because like there were not enough shopping bags in Brooklyn to cover Mrs. Huxtable's gut. It was pretty hilarious. Also, I know there's like a small portion of you party poopers out there who are going to write us like, you're fat shaming and blah, blah, blah. And I know you want to do that, but don't, because that's not what we're doing.
No, but it's not even.
You're missing the point. That's not what's happening.
Wouldn't know if you just saw her face. Like, it's not that she's just 9 months pregnant, so there's a humongous pregnant belly in front of her.
On all shows, too, especially with The Handmaid's Tale and the subject matter.
The whole point of it is that she can get pregnant and other people get. Yeah. It's
unmentionably pregnant is hilarious.
When that was like what she is as a handmaid is like a barren womb to just like repopulate the earth with.
Well, congratulations, Elizabeth Moss. Yeah, we understand you've probably given birth. And congratulations to Taylor for another $1 billion for your next re-release.
They've given up. But I will say, I do like the good on Taylor. I will say, like, to just drop it in a show randomly.
It's a fun way to do it.
Like, it actually is really great. Rather than her be like, okay, it's coming out at midnight on Instagram. Like, done that. I like that it's just like, oh, this random episode is just like, drops the song.
We're going to speed through some Diddy headlines because there are too many for us to ignore this week. And then we'll get onto something more fun. Because I hate talking about him. I hate all the, I hate this also whole trial.
We've been saying like it's going to be really bad. And now it's really bad.
It is. And it's kind of gross. Like I know that, like any media event, there are dozens and dozens of pods and outlets that are like making their Christmas bonuses off of this. And it's not, no. I like to mention it and move because I think it's gross. I think he's gross. I think it's terrible.
What I will say to you, if Cassie is not Times Person of the Year, like
she'd be a good nominee, but I don't think they're going to do it. But that's a great thought.
No, I'm serious. Like, what's the fucking point if not her? Period.
She testified for 4 days, poured her heart, soul, and whole on the line. It was unbearable it's unbearable to even read about. Like, it was just the shit he did to her.
Horrific.
And there's, this portion of the internet that keeps insisting that she could have left. I don't know, man. I don't know how you go through life and don't pay attention.
I'm not even like,
I don't understand it. I'm not even
dignifying that with a response.
It's just it's bizarre.
Also, half of them are bots, by the way. Go look at their followers. They have 2 posts and 50 followers, and they follow 9 people.
But there are people throwing it down on TikTok. There are people first and last name with their face going through, like, just saying, like, come on, girl, here's another example of when you could have left. It's like, this isn't that. Don't brand yourself for life as a complete and utter fucking moron. Just be quiet.
In the Diddy, like, Peacock documentary that I watched, he wanted to do something at this magazine, and the woman that was like running the magazine was like, no, or something like that. Diddy like showed up to the place and was like gonna try to shoot her in the face. Like, she was like, I had to be reminded like years later, like people were like, don't you remember when we had to like traffic you out of the back door of the office and like get you to like a secure location because Diddy showed up because you wouldn't like issue a retraction or like correct something in an article that he wrote about you. They had to like go hide the like editor-in-chief because he was going to try to kill her. Allegedly is what she said.
Is she going to be called to the stand?
I don't know, but she's in the documentary. And I'm like, that's like someone that wrote something about him that like he didn't think was real or fair. And that's what he did. So think about someone he was in a relationship with. Goodbye.
Do you know who else is not testifying, but who is a special correspondent under the Amy Robach and TJ Holmes present O'Day and her take? It's a whole podcast with Aubrey O'Day about the fucking Diddy trial. How dare everyone involved?
Dominic, we're back.
How dare everyone involved?
Okay, first and foremost, the fact that Amy and TJ are putting their names on it, like Amy and TJ present as if they are anything to present anything like this.
Amy and TJ are the Aaron Spelling of absolute bullshit. That's what they are. That's their production slate. Bullshit. Aubrey O'Day.
They act like Lady Gaga presents like this.
Right. No, it's insane. They're acting, first of all, like that Aubrey O'Day is a get because she's been telling people for 20 years that Diddy is horrible. Okay, sure, Diddy is horrible. This is a different sort of category we're talking about, though, Aubrey. This isn't about unjustifiably removing you from a girl group. This is about sex trafficking and rape and all sorts of other even worse things than that, if that was possible. So please offer your insight about something that happened 20 years ago.
On a reality show. All this to say, I have every episode downloaded. I'm ready to start listening.
Of Aubrey? I can't.
100%.
I won't. Well, you can report back to me.
I will report back, but it's 3 charlatans all in a row, and I just have to. I'm speechless. Look,
I saw a clip of Amy Robach with her hair up in a serious dewdrop and a pen in her hand and her elbow on the table going, Aubrey, blah, 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 blah. And Aubrey was like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm looking at it. It's
Lutelius
a tie.
Is like,
You're both assholes.
Lutelius is glugging away at his 17th drink of the day.
Yep. Justin Bieber has announced unofficially that he was not a victim of Sean P. Diddy Combs.
Okay.
Everyone thought he was going to take to the stand and that this was part of the reason why he seemed to be spiraling downhill. And it is not. It doesn't mean something didn't happen to him when he was a kid, but he is referring to other people who are victims of Diddy while saying that he was not one of them. Ending speculation.
Sure.
Which we even had here. I mean, we even thought that him and Usher were going to come forward. So I'm thrilled. I'm still concerned about him, but
But is he just saying that because he wants to distance himself from the? Is that real? Is that the truth, or is that just a? Well, Usher's getting thrown into the mix.
I know his name is coming up a
lot. Testimony of him. So here we go.
He was there for a lot of it. A lot of people. I mean, like these male escorts that are coming forward.
Well, I'm going to find out. Listen, Aubrey is going to tell me. Okay, so I'm gonna know all about it.
She's not going to know anything about imprisoned male escorts. All she knows about is being fired and Photoshop. That's all that lady knows about professionally. She's got a lot of nerve.
Oh God, I love her.
All right,
and we did fix her a long time ago. If you sign up for the $20 tier on Patreon, you can listen to us talk all about her. By the way,
it obviously didn't work, but we will. We did try. Okay, so Jessica Simpson appears on television this week. She's supposed to be doing, it's a comeback performance, and she's appearing on the American Idol finale. Her first live television performance in 15 years.
Oh no.
Baby, she did a version of These Boots Are Made for Walking that makes, what's that shit she did years ago when she did Take My Breath Away on the AMAs? It's like, I'm going to do that, but pretend I'm Fergie at the NBA All-Star game and do something I already sang and make it bad. Jessica. Christopher, yeah, I sent you the link. You have to. I encourage everyone to watch this, but it's just like.
I don't want to. I'm sad. I'm so sad.
I was shaking my head. I was shaking my head the whole time I was watching it. She looks fantastic, by the way.
Lips are, but
those lips were made for singing. She performed.
Yeah, the lips are made for flapping, is what they were.
Josh King. Maybe he's a contestant. I don't know, but they sang it. They didn't really sing it. They sort of spoke it. And it was weird. She was weird. She does that exaggerated bravado. It's like a vibrato.
But you're sort forcing
of like Patty LuPone, but very drunk and all external. She's like, these boots were made for walking.
It's like not real. It's not you oscillating your vocal cords so that you can sustain the note. Like it's so that it's like a style choice that you're.
It's like Jim Carrey singing opera. I don't know how else to describe it. But she is not. She was the favorite. She was to me in 1999. She was with Britt, Christina, and Jessica. She was always the also-ran, but she had the pipes. I'm in love, boy. I think I'm in love with you.
Like, what a good song. Oh, yeah, I know. It's so
what
sad.
we just did there sounds better than she did what American Idol this week.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, God.
So,
also, of all, P.S., remember like American Idol, the finale used to be like the biggest star in the world. And now it's like Jessica Simpson like talking, these boots are made for walking, a song she sang 20 some years ago for a movie that everyone forgot about.
What was it? Was it
Dukes of Hazzard?
Oh, I did forget about it.
Yeah.
You know, I'll never forget about Christopher, Mariska Louise Hargitay.
Your girl, your main motherfucking bitch.
I mean, if you had asked anybody who's going to run the Cannes Film Festival this year, no one would have said Mariska Hargitay, but she's doing it. She's directed and produced a documentary about her mother, the legendary siren, Jane Mansfield. And the film premiered there. It's been an emotional week for her. She is turning looks left and right, giving bombshell interviews left and right. The documentary is supposed to be fantastic, in which she reveals that Mickey Hargitay, the bodybuilder, who we thought until 2 minutes ago was her father, turns out he was not her biological father.
Really?
Yep. But obviously she refers to him. She was always very close with him and always mentioned him in interviews and award acceptance speeches, but she's known for some time that he was not her biological father. I don't know the details, but she was an adult when she found out. So yeah, and I guess her dad, Mickey, knew that she wasn't his kid and raised her as his own.
Oh, that's nice though.
Yeah, it was lovely. He really stepped up to the plate. So sort of a bit of a bombshell, but she has known. She's known for some time. And I can't wait to see the documentary.
I wonder where.
It's at the end of June, and I can't remember if it's Max or Netflix, but it's one of them.
Oh my God, so we can watch it in P-Town together.
Oh, we can. Yes. We'll put that on the list right before BAPS. And a re-airing of House of Gucci, which I'm going to make it just the sex scene.
There was another thing with BAPS that we're going to watch. What was it?
Something that was really bad. And it was, I can't remember.
Guys, DM us and remind us because I don't remember. Okay, keep going.
So just a quick bunch of Cannes Film Festival headlines. There's been this thing this year where people are not allowed to appear semi-nude on the red carpets anymore, like no flesh and no long trains. So Halle Berry has admitted she had to change her dress because she was basically showing up naked because she's Halle Berry and she should. But there's video of one or two starlets being reprimanded by security on the staircases because they have long trains.
Have they not learned their lesson?
I don't. The security guard, you mean?
Yeah.
Step away from Kelly Rowland. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, don't do this. And I mean, I will say that they're like, please, like, have clothing. But also, what do the French care? Well, they're showing nipples all the time.
They invented nudity. Weren't Adam and Eve French? I mean, what is going on, France?
But it's like, okay, like of all the people in the world, they're like, so, hey, the French.
You're the Cannes. You're supposed to be the sexiest film festival.
I'm saying it. I hate the French. They're always, it's just like, it's like, they're so much cooler than everyone. And then they're just like, oh, we don't want nudity. Like we turn our nose up at you, like disgusting Americans. That's 100% what it is.
Is this our first political position on this podcast?
Yes.
You're issuing a statement that we hate France?
I'm annoyed by it. Also, did you see Denzel Washington almost
screaming at that photographer
face?
He was like his character in Training Day all of a sudden. I thought he was going to go after him. And he was
like getting really heated and you could tell. And the guy was like laughing and that was making him more mad. And I was like, first of all, this ugly ass fucking piece of shit nobody
that photographer should have been shot. That should have been shot
just for his face alone, let alone. And then after Denzel Washington reprimands him, he grabs his arm again and he flipped it. And then he was like, stop it. And was like getting real. He should have punched that guy in the face. And I would have.
Denzel Washington must
stood
have
been up as a French hater, stood up and clapped my hands.
Denzel Washington must be Buddhist because I balled my fist when I was watching it.
Chapel Roan would have been shaking after what I would have fucking said to that photographer.
Don't laugh at Denzel Washington. You know what? Even if Denzel Washington's appearing in a comedy, don't even laugh at him then, you asshole. Don't laugh at Denzel Washington.
And he was like laughing and I was like, oh, you like should get your fucking ass beat. What's his name? Let's dox him because
I don't know, but I bet he's fucking French, isn't he?
And he's probably with that bitch from last year.
Photographer Jacques at AOL.com. It's probably his email. Kristen Stewart directed a movie which debuted there, which got a giant standing ovation at the end. This is her turning point, this movie. Kristen Stewart's about to be more famous than she ever wanted to be, which is not at all, I might add, but she's going to be a star. She's going to be a star director. This is it for her.
I like that. I like that for her, though.
That.
I think it's really fitting. I think she probably is a really good director. You know, I'm into her doing that.
I bet she seems happy. She just seems like every photo call and interview that she's been doing there, she seems amazing. What's been really fun is that Robert Pattinson and Jennifer Lawrence are in a movie together that they are premiering at Cannes, and the children, who are not children anymore, they're like your age, but they're just talking about Katniss Everdeen and Edward Cullen being a red carpet couple, which I think is sort of adorable and hilarious.
It is cute, but also stupid. Yeah.
It is sort of cute for millennials to see these two icons from franchises in a movie together. I think was cute. And Pedro Pascal is just appearing in one sleeveless shirt after another. And
I know. Who is he? You?
Panties be fucking dropping.
Yeah,
I mean, I wish, please. If I look like Pedro Pascal, you couldn't keep me in a tank top. I wouldn't even have pants on if I looked like Pedro Pascal.
Well, then you'd be lambasted by the security guards there.
I wouldn't be allowed at Cannes.
Also, Emma Stone was attacked by a bee.
I did see that. And he was trying to protect her.
It's just funny because she was scared of the bee and it was funny.
But you know what was weird too is the dress she was wearing was so horrible. It looked like it had a built-in bib, and the bee was probably like, "Get out of here with this."
Yeah.
I'd rather you be nude.
The bee was a security guard. It was attacking her.
The bee was French and was like, "I'd rather you be naked than wear this ugly ass dress."
Hilarious.
Okay, let's talk about the Department of Homeland Security being pitched an idea by the producers of Duck Dynasty that there be a reality show that pits immigrant against immigrant to get U.S. citizenship. What a proud day for our nation. What a great moment for America, for the reality television industry. Yeah. I think it's great. To everyone involved with this and to everyone considering it, to anyone, this will be a thing because it's garbage and garbage always floats now, entertainment-wise. To anyone who's going to work on this show, I hope you fucking rot in hell. Yeah. That's another official FFP position.
Yeah.
We hate Christy France and we hate this
whatever her fucking name is, that dumb bitch. I hope you fucking, we're really on one now. I hope that someone takes you out back and does what you did to that dog. And you can quote me on that.
Fuck
anyway.
You.
Yeah, go fuck yourself, you dumb loser.
And also, I don't know what faggot taught you how to apply foundation, but I'm going to tell you this. He fucked you over on purpose because he doesn't like you.
You fucking cunt. Anyway.
You pancake. Jesus Christ. Well, speaking of loving our country, George Louis Clooney, in what I think has got to be one of the stranger things I've heard, he's on Broadway now in Good Night and Good Luck. And CNN is going to air a live broadcast of this Broadway play at the end of June before it closes. Possibly it's closing night or the night before it's closing night. Now, you know, it was a heralded film. It's a decently reviewed play. It's about Edward R. Murrow. It's about the First Amendment, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't feel iconic enough to me for CNN to make this move, but I know CNN, like all the news channels, is desperate for viewers. What I would be pissed about is that this is one of the most expensive tickets in Broadway history. There are $1,000 tickets to the show. So if I've seen this and I know that I could just watch it on cable, that's a class action for me. That's a class action for me.
But again, we don't need to then buy tickets to it. We can just see it later. You know what I mean?
100%.
Wait,
can you imagine if you spent $950 on a ticket for this and you just found out that you can watch it after Wolf Blitzer one night in June? What, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I'm just class actioning everybody. Stop it.
Anderson Cooper is going to be like, and now, it's like.
Right. Thanks, Wolf. And now Broadway.
Guys, listen, if HBO Max coming back it tells you anything, no one fucking knows what they're doing. They're just trying to get eyeballs any way that they can. It's like,
let's talk about this HBO Max thing.
Before we get there, did I tell you that someone DM'd me and said that she's some sort of doctor or something like that? I'm just going to be very vague to not dox anyone. But she was talking with a patient and they were both talking about how they're hearing that the picture of Dorian Gray is so good and through talking about that, realized that they both listened to this podcast. How funny is that?
That's hilarious.
The reason they were saying is because we have talked about it for like
we've
4
told
weeks
them.
now. Yes.
They extended it, but just a tiny bit. I think
we
they
need to
extended
get our
it because
tickets.
they know she's going to win. I know. We have to go. We got to talk right after
like
this.
we might need to like do that
it.
like today. We have to buy them.
We should.
Yeah.
We should.
Okay.
I forgot to tell you that I finally bought a ticket to Titanic, which I know you and Hassan are like
I've seen
giant
it like
fans
3
of.
times. I know.
So I'm going with my best friend. We're going in the middle of June because the original leads are coming back for these final weeks, and they've extended. So we're going to go see when they're in. I can't wait. I'm excited. But I think the rest of the run is sold out since they announced they were closing.
I'm sure. And then I saw that Dan and Seamus went to Glengarry Glen
Ross.
Really good. Should we go see that too?
I don't know. I mean, I've heard it's been good, but everything is so expensive. I've been so choosy this season. Yeah. My friend Mark has seen
everything.
Everything.
He's a monster.
He's a monster. He's a culture monster.
Like, sees everything.
He does. Some seasons it's not as much, but this year he's seen absolutely everything. There's a lot of good stuff on Broadway this season. A lot.
Yeah.
God, I hope Oh Mary sweeps every category it's nominated for. I really do. I'm still sending people to go see that who didn't know much about it and keep texting me. Teresa Caputo among them this week, who was like, I cannot thank you enough for this recommendation. Can you imagine going to Oh Mary and sitting behind Teresa Caputo?
No, because you wouldn't be able to see the fucking stage over that hair. Okay.
I did see photos of her at the show, and there was a power puff happening there.
Of course there was.
Puff. Or poof, as it would be pronounced. Yes.
Okay, HBO Max.
Yeah, I don't necessarily care about this, but it got so much airtime this week that what am I missing about the story that I don't give a shit enough about it?
It's the fact that like these big, huge corporations are just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. And it's so blatantly obvious. There is no trajectory or goal. It's just like whatever we think could be it is it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like floundering and then going back to HBO Max, which again, they should never have changed it to Max. It should have stayed HBO Max because HBO is prestigious. Max could be anything. And so a man's name. And so
I don't understand. It's like, I still have the app. I have the app for both on my Apple TV. And like, sometimes I go to HBO Max and it's like, oh, this doesn't work. So is it going to just start working again?
I don't know.
That Max is not Max?
I don't know. It's a mess. It's a full mess.
Well, I guess welcome back, HBO Max. I've never just said Max. Like, I will always say, well, where's Last of Us? I'll always say HBO.
HBO Max was so good. It was like the content was so good. It was when Netflix was like kind of going downhill with the content, and HBO Max was doing so well. And then when they consolidated with everything else, it just turned into a fucking dumpster fire. It was so bad.
On the SNL finale for its iconic 50th season, Scarlett Johansson became the most hosty female in the show's history with 7 times. Prior to that, the record for women hosting SNL was a tie between Tina Fey and Drew Barrymore with 6 episodes each. And now ScarJo has the female record with 7. On the male side, the record is 17. Do you know who it is?
Alec Baldwin.
Yes. I was going to say author Hilaria Baldwin's husband.
Yeah.
But yes, the same person. By the way, we posted a reel last week about Ireland Baldwin calling Abuelita. I mean, tens of thousands of you,
more than we've ever had
are truly as perplexed by it as we are. And we really feel like we have a family in all of you who roll their eyes as much as we do. Thank you for coming along for the ride.
We sure do.
You set an FFP Instagram record. Please keep doing it, and please keep following us everywhere. Speaking of SNL, Pete Davidson is back. He's been performing at phone-free gigs at the Stand here in New York.
Okay, I like that.
He has not performed. I love it. I love these back. It didn't really register he's been gone. I love phone-free anything.
Like, I'm into that. Can everything be phone-free?
Have you ever been to a phone-free concert?
I want to throw my phone into a river is what I want to do.
Have you ever been to a phone-free concert?
Yes.
Where you put it in a bag? It's absolutely glorious. And I always truly hate the people that find a way to break those bags and then brag about it online. I'm like, this is not a flex.
Yeah,
this is not cool at all. You're a loser. You're an absolute loser. Well, it's real saltines today.
I'm mad. I don't know why, but we are. I feel great about my life. So like, it's like.
Well, this should make you feel better. The Post headline is this: Katy Perry not welcome in Vegas after complete failure residency, lost luxury hotel money. That's it.
But like a lot of people went to her show. So I don't know why they're saying that.
Well, the quote is, this residency was a disaster for Resorts World, a complete failure.
I don't know, not to defend her, but I don't know if I believe that. I know like so many people that went to the shows and said it was like packed to the gills. And why is this coming out now and not
because she's on the floor
2 years ago
when everyone kicks somebody when they're already down.
That's what I'm saying. Is like, why is this a story now, not 2 years ago when it was finished?
Because whoever has been involved in Katy Perry's destruction, whoever the confidant is that told her to record that last album and go into space, they're not done yet. So they're releasing this story about the failed residency to make sure she comes back.
I know that's that one thing. Some people have been putting up these videos where she's with in that toilet and there's like a poop turd that's like dancing with her. And they're all like, I can't believe she's doing this on her tour. And I'm like, that's from her residency in Vegas. That was like really weird. Like there's a lot of these videos that people are saying are from her. I don't know. But no, I know it like did well. Like I know of many friends that went to it and they said it was packed. So like, interesting.
Well, if you're angry now, you're going to be angrier when I tell you this story. You know who else is whirlwinding their way through the Cannes Film Festival? And every time this person does it, it is just an event. Thomas Louise Cruz shows up at Cannes to do his promotion for Mission Impossible Chapter 800, and Dominic doesn't care because I 44. Always have my tickets.
The Final Reckoning. Was the last one just The Reckoning? And now this one.
Well, it was the Final Reckoning Part 1, and this is Final Reckoning Part 2. He said many things in interviews this week. One of them is that he's never going to retire and that he's going to keep making movies until he is well into his 100s.
Until he is blown off the planet.
And because he is a Scientologist and probably has the ability to live to that age, says my early 100s with a confidence that he knows he's going to be alive at that age. So between his age and Kris Jenner's face, I need the secrets. I need all of them. I'll join Scientology. If I could look like Kris Jenner, I'll join Scientology.
Dear God.
But then another reporter asks him, hey, what are your plans for Father's Day? And he briefly clammed up and then responded with something very innocuous, like, just to have fun, and then started immediately talking about the movie again.
There you go.
Because he famously
good job.
Only
good
occasionally hangs out with the two children that he adopted with Nicole Kidman and has a zero relationship with his daughter Suri with Katie Holmes, who is now 19. Way to go, Tom. So by the way, in case you're all wondering, he has no plans for Father's Day if you wanted to take him out. Wondering. Who's he dating? Is he the one who's dating Ana de Armas now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dating.
Yeah.
Quote unquote.
Coming up on the a la carte, we're going to talk about, did Blake Lively threaten Taylor Swift to expose text messages?
I can't. I literally can't.
The Tiger King is back in the news because he's recently married and his husband promptly got deported. Well, welcome to that American story. The Menendez brothers are 1 inch closer to freedom. Their parole can happen and probably will. And what else are we talking about in the a la carte this week? Nicole Kidman is giving us an update on the sequel to Practical Magic. And David Geffen, 82 years of age, is divorcing his husband, who's 32 years of age. And there was no prenup. So what can one think except... I guess when Barry Diller finally came out of the closet, David Geffen was like, here's my chance. Get out, youngin'. I would love if David Geffen did marry Barry Diller.
For this for fifth.
Why didn't you tell me when all of our parts worked, Barry? We could be a power couple still. 82 married to 32. I date younger guys.
Your dream, Dominic.
That's pretty extreme. My prenup is definitely not my dream. I'll tell you that part.
Oh, God. Well,
today we're fixing Rosie O'Donnell with our special guest, Sarah Wendell. We went on and on so much. There is more Patreon content for this episode than usual. We talk about so much stuff on the Patreon. The whole thing is interesting. Rosie O'Donnell's
blabbed away is what we did.
I mean, she is, like her or not, this is an American entertainment icon for sure. And you probably think I'm talking shit, but when you listen to all the stuff that she's done, just tune in for it. And this is a good chance to sign up for the Patreon too, because there's at least 30 minutes of stuff. Her and Ellen, just like a whole bunch of, you're going to be shocked by how much shit Rosie O'Donnell has done in your lifetime. And that's it. Do we have anything else to promote right now, Christopher?
No, I think just sign up for the Patreon if you want. We have a lot of really good Patreon stuff coming up. So if you're not in the Patreon, you need to be, okay? Is all I'm going to say to you. And I'm going to start releasing, I'm going to have some more announcements soon about Patreon stuff.
Will I know about them in advance?
Yes, I'll tell you.
Christopher, what are you doing for Memorial Day?
I don't know yet. What are you doing?
I'm doing a little Eastern Seaboard blah, blah, blah. I'm going to DC for a minute and then visiting my friends Patty and Ted in Rehoboth. Then going up to Atlantic City for an evening to see my friend Steven, who's a Cher impersonator, and then doing Beyonce on Sunday. Wait, aren't you going to Beyonce this week?
Oh, Thursday, yes.
Thursday. So this time we will open with our reviews of Cowboy Carter.
We sure will.
For sure.
All right.
I have the cutest outfit picked out, which is
I don't know what I'm going to wear. I have to figure that out. That's what I really have to figure out. All right. We'll see you guys on the other side of some vital messages. Dominic.
Chris.
We have a returning guest.
Yes,
we love her. This is like a guest that's become a friend. Like for real.
That's true. We've met in person. We didn't know when we started, but now we know in person. Yep.
And truly, like, first episode, we were like, I'm obsessed with her. Like, after you left, we were like, I love her. She's the best. Like, she was making us die laughing. I, again, still to this day, whenever you said Olivia Wilde is messy and horny, I said, who amongst? And you said, my note here is whompst. And to this day, it's probably the funniest thing that's been on this podcast. Seriously. You know her and you love her from her podcast, Smart Podcast, Trashy Books, right?
That is correct.
Yes. And you know her from, I know it's because it's like two different names. And so I'm always like, is this the right one that I'm doing? She also runs the longest running romance blog in existence, period. Like,
I don't think I knew
existence, guys, not like for 5 years, like 20 plus years, right? Correct?
Yep. 20 years in January. I am a blogger, which is I sound like I am like a relic of the internet.
It's Sarah Wendell. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. Can I call you every morning when I'm having a bad day?
Sure.
And you can just like pep talk me because I am just full of light and love now. Thank you.
You're welcome. We love
Chris,
you.
you can call me. You can text.
Sure.
Reach me on Grindr.
Understood. Totally.
I can't talk in the morning at all.
I don't do phone calls either, but I would
ask
do it
everyone
for that.
at the gym who hates me.
It took a long time for Dominic to stop going, can you believe we're talking on the phone when he would call me? And I'm like, yes, like this is a phone. Like that's okay.
Literally, that's what it's called. Phone.
I mean, here we go. I mean, this is a much, much anticipated episode.
It really is. I remember I was listening to you talk about whether or not you wanted to fix this person. I was walking my dog and I had to like put the leash on my wrist and flex my arm so I could text you while the dog is like, no, squirrel. And I'm like, I would love to fix this person with you.
Well, then let's ask you, why did you have such a visceral reaction that you wanted to help us fix Rosie O'Donnell?
When I was younger, I loved her so much. I thought she was one of the coolest people I'd ever seen on TV. And when I was younger, her talk show was incredible. Like that was when I was like high school, college. I remember seeing her in League of Their Own and thinking that every scene she was in, she stole it. And I loved that she had these very cool, and later I learned what being a lesbian bisexual is, very cool friendships with some other women who I thought were really cool. I was like, wow, she made a whole career out of being a stand-up comedian. And she was, I think, one of the earliest to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Inspired a lot of my sense of humor, inspired a lot of the way I sort of look at the world. I didn't realize until you said it, like, oh, she's like a fundamental person in my brain. And I would love to fix her.
Really is. And you know, I don't think, like, I've always been a fan of Rosie O'Donnell. And she's the kind of celebrity that even when she does something I don't agree with, I'm still able to be a giant fan of hers because I believe in what she stands for and why she's saying the things that she says. And that's not true of every celebrity, at least for me. Like, she's one of those people who could fuck up and I would still love her because just the act of being Rosie O'Donnell feels political and personal and for me as a gay man who's a little bit younger than she is, I don't even think I'm exaggerating, but she's sort of an American hero. I have to be honest. I'm from the town next door to her on Long Island, and she was just the class clown. In fact, she won class clown and was prom queen and class president and all these things in Comac High School. She was popular because she was funny, and then went on to have an incredible comedy career, which back when she started performing, it was still just Phyllis Diller and Joan, and barely even Joan then. You know what I mean? It was still pretty monumental for someone like that to be popular. And as we'll go over for the rest of the episode, you know, I did more research on her than I do normally on people. And by more research, I mean 7 minutes versus 30 seconds after we've already hit record.
Sure.
The research normally happens now.
Yeah, we're doing it currently.
You're typing in Wikipedia as you say hi.
That is accurate for the research department here.
Period. Which we don't try to say that that's not what it is.
I have no problem. I sometimes start these things going, who is Catherine McPhee? And then by minute 2, I know.
There are a couple episodes where I'll look at my up next. I'm like, I don't even know who that is. I don't give a shit. Let's listen.
Yeah. Thank you.
We're here to educate as well.
Exactly. Yeah. But if you look at, in high school, right? She was homecoming queen. She was prom queen. She was senior class president and class clown. Think of all of the different high school type of person you have to be in one body to make all that happen.
For real.
Like my prom queen and my senior class president were 2 very different people.
And achieving all that after losing her mom when she was not yet 11 years old, and her and all of her siblings suffering abuse, sexual abuse, trigger warning, sorry to start off like this, but at the hands of her own dad, and still accomplishing all the stuff that she did in high school itself. I mean, she's, amazing.
And can't you picture her being that girl? Like, you just picture her in high school being like, hey, what's up? You know what I mean? And just being like at the locker, twirling her hair and like making everyone laugh, and then going to geometry class. You know what I mean?
Yep. Because she was like us in high school. That's why I think I like her, because she was us.
Yeah,
I am that lesbian. I always.
Yeah, you are Rosie O'Donnell.
But look at that in terms of lesbian in public, right? Like the public image of being out as a lesbian in the media. If you think about it, being a lesbian, but then also homecoming queen, prom queen, senior class president, and class clown. She's funny, she's smart, she's organized, and she's popular. And that is kind of her trajectory.
Had publicly come out of the closet.
Yes, it was right before the talk show ended, the Rosie O'Donnell Show in 2002. She had come out technically on stage at Caroline's at one point, around the same time before she came out. And while she was on stage, I think it was for a benefit, she just came out and screamed, trigger warning, foul language, and screamed at the audience, I'm a dyke. What's the big deal? I've never understood what the big deal is. Now,
this was 2002. Wasn't even that long ago.
No. And it was at the end. Now, the reason that I and many other people had a temporary issue with her was because she had fawned over Tom Cruise. Like we all knew that she was gay. People who were gay knew she was gay.
Yeah.
But, as I've gotten a little more mature, you give people a pass. I mean, Richard Chamberlain, who was gay, recently passed away, and he didn't come out until he was 70 because of the real fear of, I don't know that I'm going to be able to pay my bills if I'm honest about who
and
I am on the inside.
Now.
Of course it does. I mean, there are so many stars who are gay that we don't know about still, which seems so
quote,
silly.
Know about, quote unquote. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Lenny.
Yeah, like case in point, period.
Put that camera down, faggot. Sorry.
Did you see her response when people were criticizing her after she came out for her obsession with Tom Cruise? Did you see what she said about that? It's so funny.
Can you read it? Because it's something about not sucking his dick or something.
I wanted him to mow my lawn and bring me a lemonade. I never said I wanted to blow him.
I mean, honestly, Dominic, I feel like you would say the same exact thing, wouldn't you?
I probably would have blown him even still.
Yeah,
so
it is.
But it's a great response. But it wasn't, the thing was, that's a great response and an accurate response, but it went further than that on the show. Sure. It wasn't just mow my lawn. It was overtly comedically, but overtly sexual, 100%.
Yeah, like on your stalker, like LOL, haha. Yeah.
She had a little button on her desk where you hit it and it said, Tommy, can you hear me?
Right. And now if she were to come back and do her show today and do the same exact things that she did with him, we'd all get it. Like we would get where it was coming from more if she still loved him. But this is a whole era of like Rosie and Ricky Martin around the same exact time where we're like, come on, queens, you know? And so
for real.
yeah. But doesn't mitigate the fact that that show itself was groundbreaking. I mean, the show itself was supposed to be like an evolved version of the Mike Douglas and the Merv Griffin shows and the shows that I watched with my grandmother when I was 3. And it was that. It was an appointment show. And you can't think of an episode of the Rosie O'Donnell Show where you were like, that wasn't a good episode. It was always fun. It just gave the exact energy that she wanted it to.
Well, and even, let's dissect this a little bit. Like,
because you've both worked on talk shows, right?
Dominick,
not that one.
Oh, so you have. Do you remember her show? Because it also seemed like a very high quality production.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was different. I worked on talk shows like Ricky Lake, Maury, and Jenny Jones. I didn't work on variety talk. They definitely had a bigger budget. They also had like thrice the viewers of, well, not compared to Ricky Lake, but the other shows I worked on, they were always like number 1 or 2. It was always like, Oprah, Ricky, Rosie were always the top 3 in that for a couple of years.
And she predated Ellen as Queen of Nice. Like people called her that before they called Ellen that, which was, not exactly true.
And it's funny, Sarah, when you were describing all the accolades, like the high school, like about her bridging all these communities. Yeah. That's the exact type of person who would warrant attacks from anyone, as a blanket term, insecure. Like a person who's genuinely funny, genuinely intelligent, a woman pretty obviously gay and well loved by everyone around her.
And doesn't need to be annoying to do it, right? Like it's just like, I'm fun. Yeah.
And is genuinely nice. Like I don't believe she's a bitchy person. I've heard that she's difficult and demanding to work with, but I don't believe that she's not a horrible person. In today's society, that's someone who walks around with a target on their back.
Oh, seriously, for sure. And
she's
pretty. Like she's very attractive. Especially at that point on the talk show. She had gorgeous hair.
Yeah, she did. I remember her hair when she would like, I remember her hair being so like, it was that 90s. It wasn't the Rachel, but it was like the evolved Rachel. Do you know what I mean? The like, the more
curls. She had that beautiful curly wavy hair.
And I remember her like her hair was always like flying around, and it was also just like funny. And if you really if we really break this down for a second, she is like, I'm a woman. I'm lustful after men. I'm like having a crush on Tom Cruise, and that's like funny and accepted. Where normally it's like, you're a woman, shut up. Like you're not allowed to have emotions. Like what your husband tells you to do is what you should do. Like if we look back on that aspect of that show, it's so ahead of its time in every single way.
Yes, I completely agree. I recently read an article, and I don't have it in front of me, so I can't cite my source. I apologize. That there's a large number of fans inside the One Direction fandom who are completely into One Direction who have now come out. And I liken her obsession with Tom Cruise as someone who's like, I must perform heterosexuality in a way that makes me outwardly appealing because otherwise I'm not safe. And I wonder if
that was part of it. I think that was part of it.
Performing this weird sort of heterosexual obsession with, I mean, let's be real, a guy who does not have a lot of sexuality about him.
Which you mean Tom himself?
If you know what I mean, to quote Wendy, and I think
that you do.
That you do. How you doing, Tom Cruise? And also, where's Shelley? Anyway.
Homo.
Had to put that in.
I also think that if she rebooted her show, she would find another celebrity to be obsessed with, and it would be so funny.
It would be like Unhinged. It would be like
I hope it would be JoJo Siwa.
It would be JoJo Siwa. I was going to say Z-Way. I don't know why.
Have we fixed her? Are we done? Should I sign off?
Surely. We might have to reintroduce JoJo to the fixing wheel. Just to punctuate how prolific she was, even before the talk show came on, she was performing on Long Island. And then Ed McMahon, he of The Tonight Show, his daughter was in the audience and saw her and thought she was so funny. She talked to her dad and then got Rosie on Star Search, where she won like 5 weeks in a row. So that was like her first national exposure. And she was discovered by Ed McMahon's daughter in a comedy club on Long Island. That's how she got on Star Search.
Wow.
And she was there for 5 weeks. And then pretty much became a star. Now, I was introduced to her when I was it's either high school or college, but she used to host a show called Stand Up Spotlight on VH1. And she hosted that show. And I thought she was the funniest comedian. She was like right under Joan for me. Like, I thought she was so hilarious. And reminded me of me. Again, I know I'm just but she was so from Long Island, and as I am as well, that I just identified with her instantly. But she was much more of a star back then than I even thought. Like, she was offered the Kathy Najimy role in Hocus Pocus and turned it down.
Oh, wow.
Because she didn't want to play a witch. Again, in her head, she was like Queen of Nice. She didn't want to do anything frightening. She was considered, I didn't find this out until today, and I can barely stand up hearing it. She was considered for the Elaine Bennis role on Seinfeld.
Holy
Holy
crap.
Yep. She was in the arena for that role. The entire show would have been different with her in that role.
Oh my God.
But I think it would have been just as good.
I bet you she would. I don't know if it would have worked out as well.
I don't think it would have worked out as well.
I bet Jerry would have been
she's too big of a star.
Happy with that.
Correct.
I'll just tell
agree
you that.
with you fully.
His ego would not have been able to handle that. But also, I'm going to fix her again. Imagine her and Julia Louis-Dreyfus right now doing something together, because they have outstanding comic timing.
Incredible.
They have very similar banter styles. They would be electric together.
Don't give us a fix, because we will steal that.
I'm sorry. That's fine. Feel free. The thing that blew me away about her when I did my research was her first role on a film was League of Their Own.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy to think about.
So funny in that movie.
And her and Madonna together were just like electrifying.
They were so cute.
Because she was in love with her. She was so obviously in love with her. And still is. Like, it was adorable to watch.
And
this is 10 years before she came out. 10 years. And they would appear together at times, be very flirty. It was really something to look back on and think, I don't know. It's sort of like I'd look at my grandmother when I was an adult and say, like, so you guys didn't know Liberace was gay? Like, when he was appearing on top, and they just didn't. And I feel like people younger than me will look back on Rosie O'Donnell and say, this person was in the closet when exactly?
Yeah, for real.
You're right.
You can really trace a trajectory of ways that comic people have entered media, like television and film. There's a line between Rosie O'Donnell and Melissa McCarthy, right? Like, there is a line between her and comics who are completely self-contained. They don't need another person to banter off of. They don't need someone to reflect. They can own it in themselves, and they're entirely unique. Like, that is so cool. And I think one of the reasons why she sort of imprinted on me at a young age, like, wow, she doesn't need anybody to be this funny, this smart. She doesn't need a partner. She doesn't have to play off anybody. She can hold this on her own. Whoa. And then when she is with other people, she was incredible.
And then we get to Tom Selleck.
Yeah, I have to confess, I don't know anything about this.
Well, get ready.
Pull up a chair,
fasten your seatbelt, son, because we're about to give you some Rosie O'Donnell history. But this is really when it happened. First, Columbine happened. And it truly, she had started building her family by that point. I don't know if she had 1 or 2 kids by then. And it truly affected her. And it truly, and again, this is a way that I think that I identify with her as well. It's something I've tried to pull back from in life, but seeing world events and getting affected by it personally and letting it depress you and affect your mood. She's the poster person for that, for sure. And so Tom Selleck, who is a spokesperson for the NRA, came on the most fun show on television with the most fun celebrity on the planet. And I'm paraphrasing by saying she turned on him, but she was trying to have a discussion with him of how can you support the NRA when we see what just happened, when all of this shit just happened. That's when political Rosie O'Donnell was born, and she truly did not look back since then. Like, she just sort of, she was good in a way that when she loved stuff that she thought was important, whether it be Broadway or kids' rights, adoption rights for gay people, and gun control, I don't know if she felt like it was her responsibility or just part of what made her so special is like, I feel like talking about this is going to make the world better. It came from the best place with her.
Yes,
at least
but it's also a stepping stone for a lot of celebrities that are like, okay, I'm at the ceiling of where I'm at now. Like, what is the next step? And if that next step is not becoming a like legitimately revered actor or starting a music career, what it is like starting to become like dipping the toe into politics and having that be your next thing. Like because it really
is. There's a generation younger than you, Kris, that only knows Rosie O'Donnell as just a militant, troublemaking lesbian. Like,
this absolute lunatic that's like running rampant.
Right. Without understanding what a groundbreaking entertainer she was and still is, woven into all of her political pursuits.
She also just became a celebrity also. You know what I mean? Like she's just like, especially like then she goes on The View, which again, watch the Tom Selleck thing. Oh, perfect. Go back. Did she start on The View at the beginning?
No, she was brought in. Can I go back to the Tom Selleck thing for just a second?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I realized something when I was doing this research is that Rosie was early. She was like Sinead O'Connor criticizing the Catholic Church, which Rosie also did. Early. Like she was criticizing the Catholic Church on stage because of this was about when the sexual abuse scandals had started to be revealed. And she's a Catholic. She's an Irish Catholic from Long Island. She is well within her space to be like, nope, this is wrong. I survived this. This is unacceptable. Well, I don't know if you know this, gentlemen, but the Catholic Church does not like to be criticized very much, especially not in America.
Wouldn't know. Two Italian boys wouldn't know that
I was going to say, you might know that they get their knickers in a twitch.
And also, how dare you bring this up as we're about to put on the conclave of a lifetime, by the way.
I know.
But go ahead.
But not only that, she went off on the Catholic Church over sex abuse. She went off later on The View. She challenges, I think it's Elizabeth Hasselbeck, about the fact that, we've killed hundreds of thousands of Iraqis. We are also part of this problem.
Yeah.
But the thing with Selleck that resonated with me when I thought about it, she wasn't wrong. She was just breaking this facade of niceness for a minute, which was a really powerful thing to do, because what she was saying is, all right, Columbine just happened. We need to stop pretending there's not a problem. He is a spokesperson for the NRA. Let's not compartmentalize this and pretend that it's okay that Tom Selleck, who reps the NRA, is now on my show. She's already fighting about the rights of gay parents to adopt children, because she had children in Florida, and Florida took one of her foster children away because they announced that they wanted to adopt her when she was married, I think, to her first wife. And the state was like, no, we're taking the kid away from you right now, which is just heinous behavior.
Horrible.
So she's already like, both gloves on, ready to go. So basically with Selleck, she's like, we're not going to pretend that this isn't true. And we're not going to pretend that your NRA stuff is separate from what you're promoting. You are all responsible, one person responsible for both of these things. Let's talk about it. And she was very brave in basically saying, I'm not pretending to be nice anymore. I'm not going to pretend like this isn't an issue. This is an issue and we need to talk about it. And it's 2025 and we can't talk about school shootings now. We still don't know how to talk about it. And she was making a big effort. That caused her a lot of backlash because she was seen as being rude, which as the host, as you guys have talked about at length, as the host, you can't.
Yeah. And when also, especially when she's like the fun part, like, oh, Richard Simmons is going to lick her hand and we like pee our pants laughing.
Yeah.
Like, that, and he's like hitting on her and she's saying all these funny things about celebrities that have like sexually harassed her and making it funny. Like that person is not the person that's then like getting on a soapbox about gun control. Do you know what I mean?
And she made Tom Selleck uncomfortable, which he deserved. And she made the audience uncomfortable.
Well, he's also, but also too, he's like a household name that's like revered by the whole world.
Exactly.
Right. He's not some random idiot.
As until that moment, as loved as they were equally loved for the same reasons for being.
And she was
no one other than because no one watching that show looked at Tom Selleck as an NRA person. They just looked at him like sexy ass Magnum PI.
Exactly.
And no one until that moment looked at Rosie O'Donnell as anything other than the Queen of Nice. And that was it. And then she changed both of their careers that day forever. Forever.
Yes.
Because that is not why, and right or wrong, she was just being herself. And hosting is hard. And when there's a little crack in the armor and all of a sudden you start to shine through, you can't take You can't take that back.
It's also
she just went.
This feels so good that I get to just rant about something and scream and be like, you know what I mean? Like that.
I wonder if she even gave it a second thought. I don't even know.
She apologized to him at the end of the segment. I rewatched it. It's very uncomfortable. She apologized. This is not personal. I want to have a conversation with you. I think what was happening is that her energy on the show was 100% class clown. And she was like, wait, hold on. Don't forget. I was senior class president too.
So she leaves her show in 2002. She ends her show in 2002. She did everything she wanted to do. There's a little bit of a break. And then in 2006, she takes on her historic 1 year. The fact that she was only on The View for 1 fucking year is insane, because if you think top 5 View hosts of all time, you're always going to name her. And she hasn't been on the show.
And she was on it for like 1 whole second.
20 years.
Well, but she was so famous. That's the other thing, is that like Elizabeth Hasselbeck, like from fucking Survivor 1 season.
Oh, I forgot that's where she came from.
Is her fucking desk mate. Other than Whoopi, you know what I mean? Like Whoopi and Joy, but like they, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
But back then, right? Like, I mean, if it was Barbara Walters' idea or Bill Geddes or ABC's, but casting her and putting her on that show, absolute genius. I mean, it was that, because that's where she was going. It was like, she can be the Rosie on The View that she couldn't be on the Rosie O'Donnell Show. People now knew who she was and they would accept it. And she would take over from the beloved, I've said this before, I used to do the warm-up at The View, and Meredith Vieira is the sweetest celebrity I have ever met in my life, and just the coolest lady ever. And she was replacing Meredith, who was loved by the viewers of that show. And Rosie in the beginning got on there, and it was pretty seamless because she's as well informed as a journalist, so like smart. Meredith Vieira, for sure.
Did you see in your research, Dom, I know you do acres of research for this.
I could call the team if they have this information, but go ahead.
Wow.
Ratings for The View during her first year went up 27%.
That's right. I didn't know it was that much, but I knew that
Can you imagine 27% increase in your ratings for one person
no
in 1
one can do that
time?
now today.
Nobody can do that now.
It's just not possible. It's crazy. Wow.
And then in 2007, she's also voted Parade's most annoying celebrity, which I think was okay, look, you used to be funny. And
not Parade.
Parade, right? You need to stop making us think. You need to stop being right about things. You need to stop bringing up uncomfortable topics. You need to go back to being funny and silly. And the Parade audience was like, I don't want to think about things. I don't want to be uncomfortable.
And
so
then comes, so 2 major things happened in this year. The first thing is that she impersonates Donald Trump. I can't even remember what the fuck he did back then, but she moved all her hair over to one side like a comb over, and she started imitating him and blah, blah, blah. I don't even...
Which now every single person on this planet does on the internet for money.
It's an industry now. Yeah, absolutely. So once she did, that was the end of her as far as he was concerned. Again, this is going on almost 20 years.
It's still going on now.
She left the country because of him, and she was right. Like, I don't mean to get too political, but like the government is literally disappearing people off the street for writing an op-ed in a student newspaper. Rosie O'Donnell, with a 20-year-old history of mocking this man and making him feel insecure, she was absolutely a target. I just read, because one of the things I love to do is like find out who it is and then Google the news headlines. She sold her penthouse in New York at a loss because she was like, I am out.
Yeah, she's like, I just want it to be gone.
I'm done.
Yeah.
You know what? In the same position, I would have too. And to her credit, she's using her horrible father as a pathway towards Irish citizenship. So I wonder for her, I'm projecting a little bit, but like, wow, this person who totally ruined her life, who was a terrible figure, she's going to be able to keep her child safe because of this crappy human.
I know. You don't know how to feel about it because it's sort weird, of like, right? You owe me that much after everything you did to me, like that I would be able to use you. However, a lot of the bad shit that happened to me wouldn't have happened if you hadn't done what you did to me. So it's truly a double-edged sword.
It really is.
Our climax on The View is her famous fight with Elizabeth Hasselbeck. Again, without getting into too many details.
The split screen.
Right. So they were arguing about whether or not Rosie thought that American troops were terrorists. This is a Reader's Digest version of a much longer conversation. And Elizabeth wasn't backing her up. You know, Rosie did not feel like the troops were terrorists. But she was basically intimating that people overseas would think that, given how many people in Iraq died. Again, this is a one-sentence version of a 3-hour conversation. Sure. Elizabeth wasn't backing her up. And then when Rosie looked on the monitor and saw that the control room put them on a split screen, she decided in that moment that she was going to leave the show. The only thing she has said from that time that I don't agree with is that she said, I saw the split screen, so that had to have been planned in advance. It absolutely would have taken 1 second of planning. Like someone in the control room was probably push one button. I don't know. We're live because the show was live. I don't know who to shoot. Put them both on at the same time. I don't think, and I know she didn't get along with DEP Bill Getty. I don't think it was like a coordinated plot to humiliate the moderator of their now ratings behemoth. I do not think they were trying to humiliate her, but it's well documented that she's sensitive and passionate. And when she saw that, she was done. And that was her last show.
I think I could do a split screen if I knew.
We're doing one right now. All three of us.
We're on.
Dominic, were you still doing crowd warm up at that point?
Not at The View, unfortunately.
So you never met her.
Do you want to know something incendiary? I too was removed after one season, and I was told by the supervising producer of The View, who I won't name, I also think he's deceased, that they needed a woman to do the job. That's what I was told. Not even
can men live in this country anymore?
Not even thinking at the time. What I should have done was looked at him and be like, I don't actually think you can tell me that's the reason. Can you make something up other than it's my gender? Because I pretty much kill it out here every day. But
the New York Labor Board might have something to say about that.
Yeah. Well, the courts are a little clogged up. I'll think about it.
They're a little busy.
Sure.
Yeah. And I don't know what satisfaction you'd get from going off on a dead guy.
Very quickly, just reminding us of some of her other roles. The first thing that she has on IMDb that's from 1986 is a show called, and I quote myself, "Gimme a Break."
The other thing about Rosie O'Donnell, and I don't know if you want to move to this yet, is, a lot of people on Wikipedia, they have a really juicy controversies section, or sometimes they get their own page of controversies because they've been such a little fucker. Uh-huh. Her philanthropy section is the juiciest, most interesting section on her Wikipedia page. Uh-huh. Like, for example, in 2003, she founded a travel company called Our Family Vacations with an entrepreneur called Greg Kaminsky, catering to LGBT families. Yep. And it was only vacation packages for gay and lesbian families with kids and their friends and their parents. They had a gay family cruise, and she gave interviews about it, saying for a lot of people, because she was on the cruise, she was going to, she shows up for the things that she does, right? So she shows up on this cruise, and there were families who'd never met another gay family before who were just on vacation all together, safe and happy. And that was a huge deal. Mm-hmm. It was 2003. She was always ahead. She could sort of see where stuff was going.
Yeah.
She truly kicked down the door and dragged it behind her for a year and set it on fire.
She's like, I'm a dyke, deal. Here we go.
Right. And she got a very short haircut modeled after Helen Terry from Culture Club.
One of the 7 lesbian haircuts for quite a while.
And she, when gay marriage was legalized in California, her and her then partner, Kelly, flew right out there, and they were among the first batch. And a year later had their marriage voided, or not a year, it might have been more than a year later. Their marriage was voided when it was taken away. She had married, I think that she remarried Kelly after that when it became legal again, but that was her first of 2 wives. She did, starting when she was on the Rosie O'Donnell Show, she did for Broadway basically what Oprah did for literacy. I mean, she just became the champion of it and sort of introduced it to more people. Remember, she hosted the Tony Awards as a result a couple of times, and it was a great fit because her fandom of all things celebrity, as I was researching her, reminds me very much of Andy Cohen, strangely, because he is also a celebrity who's also a giant fan of so many of the things that he champions and Madonna, Cher, just everything. He's a goofy fan of all the people, and just the fact that he created this genre of television is almost incidental because he's such a huge fan of them as well. He's a fan of entertainment in the way that Rosie was.
And she founded a series of programs for young people to be introduced to musical theater, and they are still in operation all over New York. Oh, is that right? Yeah, there's a whole set of schools all over the New York area, like the Manhattan, Staten Island, Brooklyn, all of that.
Upcoming is she's going to be on And Just Like That. I think we have to mention that. So I feel like she's going to get, like, we are doing this now, but there is about to be a humongous resurgence and like retrospective of what her career was.
Do you think that when she's on that show, people who are passingly familiar with her will look at it and be like, oh, Rosie O'Donnell, she was so great. I loved her stuff. She's back. Yay. Or are they going to be like, oh, here comes that annoying woman again?
Both.
I mean, I think 100% both.
And not even for any reason other than like every person on And Just Like That. That is the mode. I have told Dominic on this show, like, they are making the show to infuriate us on purpose. Like, that is the point of it.
It is clickbait.
Yeah. And so, like, she will be infuriating in every way possible, but that's not because of who she is. It's simply because of the medium that she's about to be put in.
Sure. Like, because half of the world or half of our world will not ever like her because, you know, it's very much, you know, I usually hate the people that whoever my friends hate. I usually just hate those people by association. And as apolitically as I can say it, I don't believe that anyone who voted for Donald Trump is ever going to like Rosie O'Donnell. Because when the premier of Ireland is visiting your house and you are on live television and one of the topics you choose to talk about is, I'm sorry that Rosie O'Donnell moved to your country. And the premier literally said, I don't know who you're talking about. Do you want to know why he didn't know? Because he's running a country. Because he doesn't know anything about celebrities.
Busy.
Yeah.
It's a little busy.
That's as political as we're getting. I may even edit that out. I don't know. I don't want people setting my apartment building on fire. Just kidding. Are we at the arena?
I think we have to be. Oh my God, we did not guess her middle name.
Oh my God.
Did you just sit back in your chair and think, all right, Rosie, oh my God, I don't know her middle name.
I literally went to go like Rosie Rosebud O'Donnell. And then I truly was like, we didn't even try to get, we were too busy like fangirling out about her. This is a crime that none of us had realized it until right now.
Someday I'm going to be really famous and you're going to fix me and try to guess my middle name and you'll never get it. And it makes me laugh every time to think about it.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, my middle name is Japanese. I was named after a Japanese person. My middle name is Japanese.
My God.
You'd never guess it.
Okay.
They didn't make it my first name because that would not have worked because I am truly a random white lady.
All right.
Are you ready? I don't know it.
It's funny that we're doing this at the very... Well, there's a reason you don't know it. She doesn't have a middle name.
No, are you sure?
Okay.
I swear to God, I have it confirmed that Rosie O'Donnell does not have a middle name. However, her first name is not Rosie. It's a variation of that. So this will be a much easier game. But what is the real biological first name of one Rosie O'Donnell, born on Long Island, March of 1962? Believe that makes her, what, is she still a Pisces? Or, hey,
what's
Siri,
the date?
Is Pisces March 21st? Nope, she is an Aries. She's an Aries, born
actually,
March 21st.
That checks out.
Yeah, she is.
Story checks out.
Yeah.
What is Rosie O'Donnell's first name?
So she's born in 1967. Long Island.
62.
1962 in Long Island.
63 years old. Yeah.
Rosette.
Oh, interesting.
1962. I'm going to go with Rosanna.
Oh, you know, we're going to give it to you, Sarah. It's Roseanne, but we'll give it to you. We'll give it to you.
I was going to guess Roseanne, and I was like, there's no way her real name is Roseanne because Roseanne.
Yeah. Roseanne is her real first name. Roseann. No E at the end of this Roseanne.
Wow.
I was going to spell it correctly
and
either.
I wonder if she went by because of Roseanne Barr.
Maybe.
Were they contemporaries? They kind of were.
I wonder. Anyway.
I don't know.
Well, I was going to say Roseanne too. I literally was like, it has to be Roseanne. Then I was like, there's no way it's Roseanne because we would have known that by now.
And I've heard Roseanne called Rosie on and off the show Roseanne dozens of times. So I wonder. I don't know. All right, we're at the arena. Yeah, okay. Great work.
Okay, I was toying between two. I've pitched this too many times, but a memoir is what I really want. Like that's
she has one.
That's what I actually want is like her writing one now in Ireland, again on a typewriter, like Elaine Maxwell in prison. Like, you know, tick, tick, ding, blah, 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 tick, tick, ding, blah, blah. Like that's what I actually want. But what I think would be great is like if she had a Martha Stewart style documentary made about her going from, but like in parts, not just that one. Cause I feel like there was so much they didn't cover in the Martha one, even though I did really like it. And she looked so bad in it. And I was like, that's when you know it's a good documentary. When she like, they're like, you cheated on your husband like on your honeymoon. And she's like, no, I didn't. And it's like after she just told a story about how she made out with a random man in a Duomo.
But it's different. It doesn't matter.
It's different because like it's me. And I like that's like truly her defense.
I can do whatever I want. He's not allowed to cheat. I
want her coming into a seat, like sit down in the chair, lights on her. So what do you want to know with that little mouth? And then like go back to like growing up on Long Island, like truly like a 4-parter. Like the models that Dominick loved on Apple TV, but just about Rosie. Like early career, the Rosie O'Donnell, like A League of Their Own, Rosie O'Donnell Show, The View, post, political work, and then like now.
And she's in like a dark room and it's just a director's chair and a spotlight. It's very spare. And she is
like the ghost of Barbara Walters comes out.
Oh my gosh.
Elizabeth Hasselbeck can be interviewed. You know what I mean? Like all the people from The View. Just so many people and like so many different like correspondents and all that, and just truly like a retrospective of her career and how many different, because even us, like we've made some jokes, but we mainly have just been like giving her flowers for like the whole episode. And and we haven't even like scratched the surface on her at all. And we've been talking about it for an hour. So I want like a 5-parter Rosie, like docu-series about her whole life.
There is so much. And we've been talking, people who listen don't know how long we are talking, or they know if they see how much is on Patreon. There will be about 30 minutes of material that will be on Patreon, which is long for us. And there's still stuff we haven't talked about with her.
Sorry, guys.
It's because of the subject.
It wouldn't make it to Patreon if it wasn't good. I'll tell you that much. I mean, there's some that we just cut right out, But that's my pitch. That's what I want the most from her. And like, her being on And Just Like That is like what she should be doing is like, LOL, ha, can you believe that I'm on the show? And that's like all I need for her to be doing in the public eye.
Because she's in On the Joke.
I'd rather do a retrospective of that, And that's my pitch.
Rosanna Dana.
Louise O'Donnell. Roseanne Louise O'Donnell. Someone who doesn't have a middle name unless you're Charo or Cher, I can't do it. I will give you Louise.
Not Francesca?
No, Francesca's just for our Lord.
Just for
Jason. Gwen Stefani's other husband, our Lord.
Sorry.
I'm trying to think of a way to weave these two things together that I want to happen. So I may just have to present them as my pitch is 2 different things and sort of cheat that way.
Well, then I want to hear Kris's other pitch too. Just make it really hard. Because last time you both had the same thing and I got off easy.
Oh God, I don't remember. I smoke way too much weed to remember.
It was Olivia Wilde and you had the same idea.
Oh, we did? I want Rosie to do stand-up again. I want her to do a 1-hour special on Hulu. I mean, it's how she got started. And it's how I would love to see her now. It doesn't, if she wants it to be political, it doesn't, she's the artist. She can do whatever she wants. But I felt in love with her when I was in high school, when I watched her doing a bit on VH1 Stand-Up Spotlight about her aerobics instructor. And it was very simple. And she's like, I just go to this aerobics class. And this woman's like, 1 and 2, and don't forget to breathe. And I'm in the class going, die, you bitch. I cannot fucking breathe. And it was, at the time, it was so funny because no one was doing that.
I mean, it's funny now.
And she's in On the Joke.
Yeah.
Like, I love that about her.
I want her to do that. But I also want, and I mean this, I want her to join forces with Ellen now that they're in the same part of the world. And I feel like they were both, look, you could say both of these women have had reputations for being pretty tough. Certainly Ellen more than Rosie. But I truly believe because they are women and because they were gay, if they were something other than that, they wouldn't have been treated by the establishment the way that they were.
Steve Harvey sent an email to his whole crew saying, never look me in the eye. And everyone was like, that's real. Like, that's real. Yeah. We have the email.
Can I ask a question?
Is the question, does anyone look him in the eye instead of the mustache? No, the answer is no. No one's looking him in the eye.
I have a proposal, and I understand the rules that my proposal has to blow your proposals out of the water, and you can both be like, nah, that's not enough. But I have a proposal.
We're listening.
Okay. I want her to reboot The View in Ireland with a table full of comedians and people who are knowledgeable from Europe and other parts of the world. Because the thing about The View is that it balanced news and current events and also weird, silly stuff. And the news inside the US and the news outside the US is so different. So if you had her sitting at a table with a bunch of other comedians, and I think she's appearing in the Fringe Festival in Edinburgh this year with all those other comics, she could get other comics and have them talk about the way that America's perceived from outside and also what weird stuff is happening in their country. Like you see how well Graham Norton clips do in the United States?
Oh, yeah.
Like that, only with her women comics, The View from Ireland. That would be my pitch.
I don't hate that at all.
Well, thank you.
I definitely don't. I don't hate it. No,
but I don't know that I've topped you guys.
I don't think you've blown us away, but I did not even remotely think going there. Okay, may I propose something?
I would enjoy it.
Do we leave this up to a vote?
Yes.
Do we have the patrons vote?
To the country that put Donald Trump in office? No, absolutely not. No.
I don't think that there is a Venn diagram overlap between Trump voters and your show.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised.
Get out of here.
But can even the free members, can I just do the popular vote and see who wins and we'll announce it next week?
Yes.
I feel like your pitch is worth entering the arena.
Thank you.
It's not a shutout, because I do think it's a good idea. And actually, I think that's actually what you really actually should do. But
that's definitely the most likely of the three pitches that would happen.
I love being a guest because this is the second time where I haven't had to choose between you. And I feel I feel whole.
Everyone thinks that we're going to be devastated if we don't win. And we're we do this 3 times a week.
We really don't. We don't even care.
We thought about this 3 minutes ago. If you are not even signed up for the free tier of the Patreon, you need to get over there because that's where we're voting.
May I pitch on your behalf to the audience?
Yes.
Hi, if you're listening and you've been listening to the show from the beginning, like I have, may I just please tell you that the Patreon is worth it. You don't need to spend $5 on some rando Substack supporting a Nazi platform. To hell with all that. You need to take that $5 and you need to drop it over here or go for the Long Island iced tea tier because it's fabulous. But as a person who is in the Patreon, I wholeheartedly recommend all the bonus content.
Thank you.
Pitch. You're welcome.
Thank you,
Christopher.
Thank you.
Thank you much.
True whirlwind.
I'm honored to return. Thank you.
We love you. Tell everyone where they can find you.
You can find me on the World Wide Web at smartbitchestrashybooks.com. You can find Smart Podcast, Trashy Books, any place you get your podcasts. And I'm on Blue Sky at Smart Bitches and Instagram at Smart Bitches.
Dominick, where can people find you?
Oh, the website's Domentary.com. The Instagram is Dominick Pupa. There's a Domentary TikTok. And there's also a Fixing Famous People pod TikTok. Christopher, where can the listeners of our broadcast find you on the World Wide Web?
With the H in the front.
With the HWH.
World Wide Web.
Yeah. When I do text like that, I do text capital H, capital W, capital H, and then the rest of the word. You can find me at the Kris DeRosa. You can find the show at Fixing Famous People. You can find the Patreon at patreon.com/Fixing Famous People, where you will go sign up for the free tier at least and vote in the popular vote, which will come out immediately, not on Friday.
And you should watch Wear Whatever the F You Want.
Yes, you should watch Wear Whatever the F You Want on Amazon Prime with Stacey and Clinton. Everyone is loving it. We were actually just nominated for a Critics' Choice Award. So I'm very excited about that. And everyone is loving the show. And so please go see it. You can listen on YouTube. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, please. We're very close to 500 subscribers. And when we get there, we will do a mukbang. And that's it. I mean, I wish you both well. And as always, where's Shelley? Goodbye.